Hello, good morning. It's Liz here. We're starting a new week. And we're talking about how many of us were awake to see the sunrise. Now, I don't mean people like myself who set their alarms ready for the sunrise. I'm talking about 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I'll be open and honest, 3 a.m. this morning. 3 a.m. um, yeah, and it's a reoccurring theme for an awful lot of my clients and my customers. Um, and it's not like anyone's immune from it, is it? It doesn't matter where you are in life. Actually, these moments come and they're really quite off-putting. So, but the theme for me is they either have trouble getting off to sleep, staying asleep, or when they have woken up, getting back off, or even getting up in the morning. There's that horrific sort of pull to get themselves out of bed. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, because I think it's something that we really need to get out in the open, because I think the majority of the time my clients, when they come and speak to me about this, are really quite lonely and isolated, because who do you speak to about these sorts of things? You know, you can feel very isolated when you watch everybody else just buzzing around all the time, don't you? And you've had just a horrific night's sleep. Now, the ideas and the thoughts and the things that we discuss often link to what we would well recognize as work-related stress, self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, or just free-floating anxiety. Really, I don't mean just, but free-floating anxiety. And the trouble is, we replay this when we are with ourselves, silent, and actually visually we're impaired because it's dark. So actually we can't even be distracted by anything, and that's when you are in almost like on your own island, isn't it? But these thoughts come up and you replay conversations that you didn't have time to really truly absorb during the, maybe even the following the day before, but actually it can go back months and years. They're conversations that come up that you think, oh, I'll just sort that out now in my head whilst I'm here, I'll just go in deeper. And the trouble is, we start looking at it from a different context, because lying in bed at 3 o'clock in the morning is a different context to when you were having the conversation and the wider conversation, not just those few words that somebody said to you. And then you've got the other thing where you might replay behaviors, you know, the behaviors that came after you've had maybe a fractious interaction, and you think, well, that was just a bit over the top. There was absolutely no need for that. Once you've sprinkled a huge dose of emotional baggage on there, and how you're feeling right at this very moment, which is often quite fearful and a little bit sort of in that heightened alert stage of your awakening. um Actually, yeah, it will sound like it's overreaction, or it will look like it's an overreaction, and then you'll tie it to so many other things and just create this mass, won't you, of trauma. Really, that's what it comes down to. And then you'll ask yourself, is this really all worth it? Now, that's something I can't answer. I can't answer if it's all worth it. Only you can answer that. However, I do know that if you reflect on how many times you've sat really intensely watching a film, the lights are dimmed and you're really in there, and someone comes in and just throws those lights on, you break the ambience, you break the, and I can only call it as like a hypnotic state, like a trance-like state, because that's what you're in when you're doing this. You are not alert at all, as much as you feel you're alert, because you're so deeply engrossed in what you're thinking about and feeling internally that you are not aware of anything else. So my suggestion is, you know, when I say, you know, who do you talk to about this, actually is not to sit there and lie there and worry about things, but get up and switch the light on, change your positioning, you know, bring that interruption into your life, because there is, it's not about thought blocking, it's actually about taking those thoughts, because the second you start writing them down, they feel unreal, and then you ask yourself, why was I feeling that? How come that came into my mind? And really, to sort of finish this off and bring this to a conclusion, what I want to try and encourage you to do is to think of something that you can finish this week. Bring something to a closure, almost a crescendo, you know, sort of something that you've been sitting on for a little while. I had a lovely I don't know where I actually saw it, but it was a really nice interview with somebody who did Atari games or something, and he said one of the consistent questions he's asked is, you know, what makes a really good video game? And he said one that's finished. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. All of what we talked about are unfinished things, conversations, behaviours, incidences. They're unfinished. So bring things to a close this week. That's what I was wanting to tell you. I hope that's useful. Please do share for me. And I'll be back on Wednesday. Bye bye for now.